Hello there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for another video. Today I have the pleasure of sharing with you the Tim Holtz and Simon Says Stamp Cyber Monday December surprise, which is the Be of Good Cheer die set. This adorable Santa Claus is from the die set. There's also a snowman, and I'll show you the die set up close in just a moment. But this is a super cute die set that is available only at simonsaysstamp.com for a limited time. It was designed by Tim Holtz, and it is available for purchases of $25 or more of Tim Holtz branded products. When you make a purchase of $25 or more of Tim Holtz products at Simon Says Stamp, then you will get this automatically added to your cart for free. It's a really cute set and perfect for the holidays. So I'm going to use the set today to make a pair of Santa Claus and peppermint themed tags. If you've watched my videos this season, you know I've been making lots of tags this year. It's one of my favorite things to do for the holidays, and I enjoy putting them not only on my gifts, but then I like to give them to friends and family for them to use on theirs as well. So let's take a look at this super cute die set. We've got the Be of Good Cheer set here. It comes with the Santa Claus pieces and also the snowman. This is similar to some of Tim's colorized dies. So there's multiple pieces that you can use to build these images. And then there also are a few little star pieces. So I'm going to use the Santa Claus today, and I've already pulled out all of the pieces that are required to build him. And I've also off camera pre-cut a bunch of small scraps of cardstock in fog, lipstick red, schoolhouse red. I've also got some cream and pink, and of course white. I'm going to use all of these pieces and die cut the Santa Claus dies to build the elements so that I can make the image. And I'm going to make two of them today because I'm making a pair of tags. So I'm going to go ahead and put these inside of my mini die cut machine from Spellbinders. This is the Platinum Scout, and I'm going to use this to help me die cut a bunch of pieces all at once. These dies are very small, so they fit inside of Tim's Sidekick machine really well, or inside of other small die cut machines like the Scout. I also love the fact that these dies are perfectly sized to also work with Tim's Sidekick dies. And I'll show you that in a little bit because we're actually going to pull out one of his new Sidekick dies to be able to use as an accent for my Santa. So to build my Santa, I've die cut all of my pieces, and I'm going to work on assembling now. I'm using Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky Glue and some tweezers to help me hold these pieces and strategically place them where I want them. I used the cream for Santa's face, and then I did use that pink color for the blush on his cheeks. I'm going to then start building his hat next. All of these pieces kind of just puzzle piece into place, and it's a really simple image to put together. So you've got the main base layer, which is what I'm building on top of. Everything sits on top of that main outline that you see to the left there. So I'm going to go ahead and add the gray, which is going to be the shadow for his beard, but also then the pom-pom on his hat. And then the last thing I need to do is add his eyes. I die cut that from the cream cardstock. It cuts the face and the eyes at the same time. And then I'm just going to take a black marker and color those in, so I don't have to worry about trying to cut this from black cardstock. So here's our Santa. He's super cute as is, but we're going to step him up and add some sparkle. So I'm going to bring in some glossy accents, and in certain areas, I'm just going to go over those spots with glossy accents. These are going to be the perfect places to sprinkle on some Distressed Clear Rock Candy glitter. So that's going to give me a little sparkle on Santa, and that looks adorable. Here's one of the Sidekick die sets. This is the Christmas Minis set. I'm going to use the holly and also the candy cane, but the other images would work well with this project too. I'm also going to use the Simon Says Stamp Label Tags die set, and this large tag is what I'm going to use as the base for my project. I'm going to cut out my tags from some Canson Bristol paper. This paper holds up really well to inking and water techniques. And because I'm going to do some of that on my project today, I want to make sure I have a paper that's going to hold up to it. I'm also going to emboss these tags with the TWIRLING embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp. This is an older embossing folder, but it's a really good one. I love that it looks like peppermints, so this is going to be the perfect backdrop for Santa. I've gone ahead and embossed both of my tags, and now we're ready to do some ink blending. I've pulled out Lumberjack Plaid from the Tim Holtz Distress collection, and I'm going to color each individual little peppermint here with that red. And I'm just going over top of my embossed areas with the blending brush and the ink, just adding a little bit of color to the middle section of each of those little peppermints, leaving the edges white. So that's going to kind of give you that red and white peppermint feel without it being striped. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in some water, and I'm going to splatter these to get that water texture. I love that with Distress inks. So this is going to just allow me to have some of that faded water splatter texture. And then I'm going to start adding in some extra pieces. I've got some Distress Spritz. This is the Lumberjack Plaid, and I'm going to spray this in just certain sections. And that's going to give me not only some overall mist, but it's also going to give me some little dots of color too, which adds some really fun splatter. And I did want to enhance that a little bit more, so I decided to use some Yuletide Distress Mica stain to get some more intense splatter. So that'll go really nicely with the Spritz. So the combination of these two elements is giving me a really pretty shimmery tag. I'm also going to add some white splatter because I want to maintain some of that peppermint feel here, so we need some more white in my opinion. So I'm going to take this Dina Wakley spray and pour it into a triangle tray and then liberally spray this all over my tags. I want this to feel very frosty and minty, so this looked really neat after it dried. And then to add a little bit of sparkle to go with Santa, I'm going to use some Collage Medium and my finger and just very carefully do a little circle of glue right in the center of each of the peppermints. And then with my Distress Clear Rock Candy, I can go back in, sprinkle that on top. And that glue is going to pick up the glitter, which will give these a really beautiful encrusted look, which looks really cool. All right, so we're ready to die cut some of our Sidekick elements. I'm using the holly cluster first, and I've die cut it from some green but also red cardstocks. For the darker green that I die cut it from, I'm actually going to cut the little holly leaves in half and then glue the one half onto my larger green piece, so that way the leaves are two-toned. This gives the leaves a little bit of dimension without having to do any ink blending, and I really like that it kind of goes with the colorized theme of the Santa. So this looks really good tied with our Santa die cut. So I did that for the two leaves, and then the berries have actually two little dots. One dot is the lighter color, and then the other dot is the darker. And I just layered those little dots together before bringing them over to my project. Now I'm going to attach Santa onto my tag using some foam squares. These are 3D foam squares from Simon's Stamp. He's going to get placed right in the center of the tag. Then I'm going to use some liquid glue to attach my little holly pieces over by Santa's head. These are going to layer up behind his hat, and then the little berries are going to go on top, just to make it look dimensional. So these little berries I glued directly to Santa's hat, and I do want to add some glossy accents to them to make them shiny. So I will bring in that glossy accents and then just carefully cover over just the three berries, so that way they have that glossy dimensional feel. Now I'm going to use the candy cane from the Christmas mini set. I die cut that from red and white, and then I also die cut the bow from some green. That's going to give me a perfect little candy cane to pair up with Santa. And I do want to add a little bit of sparkle to all of this, so I want to match that up with the Santa Claus. Bringing in the glossy accents, I'm going to carefully apply some of that to certain sections of the candy cane and then sprinkle it with the clear rock candy glitter so that we have that nice crusted sparkle finish. And then I'm going to use some matte gold cardstock from Simon's Stamp to create the stars. Those cute little stars are the perfect magic touch to this project. Without it, it just does not have the Christmas feel, and these stars truly made the piece. So I was so excited that the die set included these. I put 3 on each tag, and that gold cardstock looks so beautiful when it catches the light. Now I'm going to attach my candy cane with a little bit of foam squares. This is turning out so adorable. Check out all of that glitter, but we're going to add a little bit more. I'm going to use some Jingle bells from the Tim Holtz Idea-ology collection and color them with some foundry wax. These are going to get tied to the tops of my tags. So I'm going to rub the foundry wax all over this little jingle bell, and I've got 2 of them here, so each tag is going to get a pair. And then this foundry wax I'm going to be able to set so that way I get a beautiful gold finish on these jingle bells. It's going to look adorable. So I'm using Simon Says Stamp Positively Everything tool to hold them in place while I emboss them. And then check these out. How cute are these gold jingle bells? They're going to match perfectly with the gold stars of the tag. I did want to cover the back side of my tag with a clean tag, something that's not embossed, so that way I can easily write on the back side. So that worked out really well. And then I'm going to tie a bit of twine across the top. I have some of this thick vintage twine that I think is really cool and matched really well with the style of these tags. Now underneath of that twine, I'm going to thread a bit of Mayart's twine. This is just some thin brown twine. And I'm going to use this to thread the little jingle bells onto. And I'll tie this into a bow. So I'm going to thread one in jingle bell on each side. And then I'm going to tie this into a little bow. So I'll just do an overhand knot and then a couple of loops. Sorry for the shadows. Oscar was intrigued by the twine, so he was joining me on the other side of the desk, but of course getting in the way of my lights. So that's why I had a bit of a shadow there. Sorry about that. Oscar always has to be involved. So then once I tied my bow, then I just trimmed things up with my scissors so that way it was nice and tidy. And check out how cute these are. The jingle bells actually do jingle, so if you had this on a package, it will make noise, which is really fun. Now here's where I decided to add a bit more glitter. I'm going to use mica flakes. So on top of the Distressed Clear Rock candy, I love to layer mica flakes. Adding the two together really makes for a really neat looking glitter. So the two textures create a really neat crusted finish. So I used the mica flakes not only on Santa, but also on the candy cane and the jingle bells. I put a little bit of that mica flake on the jingle bells too, just for some texture. And it creates the perfect finishing touch for these tags. They're super cute. I love that they jingle, and they feature the most darling Santa. I think this set is adorable. So I'm going to leave you with a couple of photos of these tags sitting on top of some wrapped presents. These are going to some friends, and I thought these would be the perfect tags to go with. But what's really fun is that I was able to create these with the Tim Holtz Be of Good Cheer die set, available only at Simon Says Stamp for a limited time, and it's available with purchases of $25 or more of Tim Holtz branded products. So just go over to Simon Says Stamp and add a few items to your cart, and this will automatically get added as well. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this idea using the Tim Holtz Be of Good Cheer set, as well as some other Tim Holtz products. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you were inspired and got some ideas on how you could use this set as well. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments below, and all of the supplies that I used today can be found in the video description as well as on my blog. Thanks again for stopping by, friends. I'll be back soon with more to share, but until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.